After 3 long years without touch, a millionaire reveals the hidden love that became life-changing. Jack Thompson stood in the grand emptiness of his mansion, the vastness a stark reminder of how small he felt inside. Each creak of the floorboards whispered echoes of laughter that belonged to a time long gone, a time when his world was brighter, filled with the warmth of his beloved wife, Sarah. 3 heart-wrenching years had passed since grief claimed her, wrapping around him like a heavy cloak that suffocated the spirit he once had. He had built a thriving woodworking business from the ground up, palm toughened from labor, his heart full of dreams. Now he was a ghost haunting his own life, cut off from the very community that once celebrated him. Cedarvale bustled outside, its rhythm steadfast, children's laughter, the sweet scent of pies from the local diner, Sunday church bells ringing. But Jack was a statue on the sidelines, watching life unfold without him. Isolation felt safer, though it ached like an open wound. That is until an unexpected letter broke through his solitude, one that called to the dormant heart inside him. It was from Maya, his childhood friend. Her words danced on the page, filled with nostalgia and an undeniable sense of hope. "Hey Jack, I know things have been rough, but I see the good in you. Let us reconnect." Reading her message sent tingles through him, an electric spark he hadn't felt in years. Memories flooded back of summer afternoons spent laughing, wild adventures, and silent promises they never thought they'd have to face. But now, Jack hesitated. What could he offer a single mother battling to keep her diner afloat while raising a special needs son? His wealth felt like a barrier, a fence built of indecision and guilt. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Days passed, and despite the hesitation, he found himself wandering back through Cedarvale. It wasn't the same. The diner he once frequented now bore the signs of struggle, chalkboards announcing a fundraiser, the chatter from patrons more subdued. Then the storm hit, the kind that turned days into a chaotic blur. Rain lashed against the windows, leaving destruction in its wake. Jack and Maya found themselves side by side, their fingers brushing as they worked together to salvage what they could. With each moment, the walls Jack had built around his heart began to bend, revealing flashes of vulnerability. He saw the strength in Maya's determined eyes, and it stirred something deep within him. She represented the grit of Cedarvale, and he was slowly reminded of the community he had turned his back on. As the storm subsided, Jack faced a turning point. Would he cling to his past of grief and wealth, or step forward into a future that could embrace love, responsibility, and community? The choice felt monumental, as if the very heartbeat of Cedarvale depended on it. And as he caught Maya's glance, something ignited a flicker of hope. Could he reclaim what he had lost? The road ahead was uncertain, but one thing was clear. The real work of rebuilding had just begun. Jack woke to a morning that felt different, the sun filtering through the windows like a gentle reminder of all the possibilities yet to unfold. He lay there, heart racing, as the realization of his recent interactions with Maya settled in. Working together during the storm had unearthed something buried deep, not just memories, but a longing for connection, a sense of belonging. After a hot shower, he slid into a pair of jeans and a simple shirt. This day was about stepping out of the shadows. He took a deep breath and headed to the diner. Every step felt heavy, but also electrifying. The bell above the door chimed as he entered, announcing his presence. The aroma of fresh coffee and warm pastries wrapped around him like an embrace. Maya was behind the counter, her hair pulled back, and her smile instantly brightened the room. She was talking to a regular, but when her gaze met Jack's, the world outside faded. There was no denying it, he wanted to step into that light. "Hey Jack," she called, her voice melodic as ever, drawing a few heads to turn. Just in time for the morning rush. He managed to smile, but it felt both foreign and liberating. He joined her at the counter, helping to fill coffee cups and chat with patrons, and with every interaction, he felt pieces of himself come alive again. It wasn't just about the diner. It was about being part of something meaningful, turning back from that loneliness that had haunted him for so long. After the bustling morning, Maya wiped her brow and leaned against the counter, looking at him, her expression softening. You know, I didn't think I'd see you back here so soon. It's nice. I want to help, Maya, Jack said, surprising himself with outward honesty. His heart raced as he spoke the words that had long been trapped in doubt. I want to be a part of Cedarvale again. She raised an eyebrow, a hint of skepticism mingling with her warmth. Really? This town has changed a lot. You might not recognize some of it. I don't care about the changes, he replied, his voice steady, empowered. I just want to be here, truly here for my community, for you. A shadow flickered across her face. Jack, you've been away for so long. It won't be easy. I'm not looking for easy. I'm looking for purpose. Maya smiled tentatively. Then why don't you start with what you're good at? I could use help with the fundraiser. We need things to auction off experiences, handmade items, anything that will draw attention. The suggestion sparked an idea in his mind, a way to merge his woodworking skills with his renewed desire to connect. How about I craft custom furniture pieces? I could create something special for the auction. Maya's eyes lit up. That would be amazing. We could really draw a crowd. With their agreement came a burst of energy, a new plan taking root. They began to chat excitedly about designs and themes, working side by side, the air electric with the promise of new beginnings. As they spoke, Jack felt hope weaving itself back into his heart. He wasn't just restoring furniture. He was reclaiming his place in Cedarvale. But as the conversation flowed, a nagging feeling lingered. What if he stumbled again? What if the world he was stepping into felt just as isolating as before? Jack looked at Maya, her laughter dancing in the air. She was the light guiding him back. As they wrapped up for the day, he gathered his tools, determination thrumming in his veins. I'll get started on those pieces right away, he told her. But just as he turned to leave, her voice stopped him. Jack, wait. About us, what are you thinking? Her question hung in the air, palpable and heavy. Jack's heart raced as uncertainty washed over him, but he felt ready to face it. I'm thinking the weight of his words felt monumental, the possibilities endless. What he would say next could change everything. Let us talk tomorrow. Walking out, he felt the thrill of uncertainty and the warmth of hope intertwining. Because today, for the first time in years, he had truly breathed life into the notion of love again. But could he confront the fears that loomed within, or would they pull him back into the shadows? The next day dawned bright and clear, the kind of morning that promised new beginnings. Jack awoke with a sense of purpose, fueled by the uncertainty of yesterday's conversation with Maya. Thoughts spun around in his mind, each one a thread leading him further into the tapestry of something he and dared to hope for, love. He stepped into his workshop, inhaling the scent of sawdust and varnish. It felt like home. As he cleaned up the workbench, he thought about the pieces he wanted to create for the fundraiser. His hands had been idle for too long, and now they buzzed with the anticipation of carving out something beautiful. He could already visualize a handcrafted dining table that would draw eyes and admiration, or perhaps a set of rustic chairs with a story to tell. Shaking off the lingering jitters about Maya, Jack picked up his tools and let the rhythmic sound of chiseling ground him. Each tap and scrape felt like an affirmation, a promise to himself that he was ready to fight for this chance. Hours passed in blissful solitude. As he formed wood into art, he imagined how it would feel to show Maya what he made, to have her standing beside him, proud and smiling. The image bloomed in his mind like spring flowers breaking through the winter frost. But with all that sunshine came a shadow, the fear of inadequacy. What if his efforts fell short? What if he messed everything up again? He knew he had to see Maya later. By noon, he decreated 3 beautiful pieces, so he decided to clean up and head over to the diner, feeling lighter with each step he took. As he entered, the familiar warmth washed over him, and there she was behind the counter, serving up laughter with every cup of coffee. Jack, she called out, her face lighting up as though he were the most important person in the room. Look at you. What have you been working on? He felt the flush rise to his cheeks. Just some furniture for the fundraiser. I brought what I could finish so far. He gestured to the pieces peeking out from his car, excitement bubbling in his chest. Maya's eyes sparkled with interest. You should have seen the turnout for the last meeting. People are buzzing about the fundraiser. I think your pieces will be a huge hit. Let us hope so, he smiled back, feeling a swell of confidence at her genuine enthusiasm. As they talked through the designs and table settings, Jack caught sight of the patrons nearby, their eyes drawn to the two of them, one expertly juggling cups while the other described his latest carvings with a spark that caught fire. It felt good to share this with her, to let every corner of Cedarvale know he was back, and that he had something valuable to contribute. Speaking of which, Maya said, her voice suddenly taking on a serious tone. About us, are you really ready for this? The question caught him off guard, the air thickening with unspoken possibilities. He searched her gaze, vulnerability tempered with hope. I don't know, Maya. I want to explore it. I can't promise it'll be easy, but I promise to try. Her expression softened, hope dancing in her eyes. Trying is all we can do. Just don't pull away if it gets hard. Trust me, I've been running away from hard for too long. The truth of those words hung in the air, their weight pulling them closer together. Jack felt a mix of relief and fear, realizing how deep his feelings for her really ran. But as they teased and played with ideas, laughter broke through the tension. After their shift, as they cleaned up, Jack took a small risk, brushing his fingers lightly against hers. It was a brief touch, but electric. Would this be the push they needed? Could they brave the tangled woods of their past to find a path forward? Maya focused momentarily on his hand, the heat lingering between their fingers. He could see it in her eyes, an urge to leap and an instinct to hold back, to protect what could have been. Jack, she said, her voice barely a whisper. Tomorrow, our talk, it means a lot to me. Me too, he admitted. Jack stepped outside into the evening air, each breath a promise to both her and himself. He could feel the weight of the past tugging at his shirt, but this time, he wouldn't let it hold him down. Tomorrow loomed ahead, filled with potential, but would it bring him the answers he desperately sought? Morning arrived with a soft, golden hue, casting long shadows that danced across the workshop floor. Jack sat at his bench, tools scattered around him like pieces of a puzzle waiting to be solved. The sun's rays glinted off the newly polished wood, igniting a spark of inspiration in his heart. Today was the day. He focused intently on his latest piece, the handcrafted dining table he had spent the last few days shaping. With each stroke of sandpaper, he imagined Maya's laughter echoing in the warm light of a cozy home they might one day share. The thought both exhilarated and terrified him. Jack realized he was building something more than just furniture. He was sculpting a future. But as the sun climbed higher, doubt crept in like a shadow from the corners of his mind. What if his feelings for Maya were simply a fantasy built on hope? What if the past was a cage he couldn't escape? He paused, his heart pounding as he wrestled with the familiar ghosts that whispered in his ear. He shook it off and decided to finish the final touches. The grains of wood seemed to hum with excitement under his hands. Jack found solace in the rhythm of his work, a refuge from the chaos swirling around questions of vulnerability and connection. Like clockwork, he found himself setting out for the diner, each step growing more meaningful as it brought him closer to Maya. The bell above the door chimed a familiar tune as he entered, and the comforting aroma of coffee wrapped around him like a warm blanket. Maya stood behind the counter, a picture of vibrant energy, her laughter mingling with the soft clatter of dishes. She looked up, the light reflecting off her hair, and smiled a smile that could make the sun shine brighter. "Hey, stranger, you look like you've been carving up a storm," she teased, her eyes glimmering with mischief. "Just a little," he shrugged, trying to play it cool, though he could feel the blush creeping up his cheeks. "I brought something special for the fundraiser." "Oh." Her interest piqued, she leaned over the counter, her focus entirely on him. "Let me see." As Jack pulled out the pieces from his bag, he felt the gravity of the moment. Would these creations impress her? Would she see the effort and the love he poured into each curve and line? He revealed the table last, letting its beauty unfold before her eyes. Her gasp cut through the air, quickening his heartbeat. "Jack, this is amazing. It's beautiful." Her words washed over him, igniting a flame of pride. "Thanks, Maya. I just want to make something people will cherish." "I know they will," she replied, her gaze softening. "But you know what I cherish most? The fact that you're really here, reaching out." There was an unspoken connection bubbling beneath the surface, and Jack felt the urge to dive in. This was it. Jack, could you help me for a second?" A patron called from a nearby booth, interrupting them. He shot a glance at Maya, who covered her disappointment with a bright smile. Go ahead, I've got this. While she briefly assisted the customer, Jack's resolve faltered. The moment slipped through his fingers like sand, leaving him restless. He wanted to share his heart, but was terrified of the vulnerability it required. Maya returned, but the moment had changed. He could feel a shift in the air, the weight of unsaid words lingering heavily. Are you okay? She searched his face, concern etched in her eyes. Yeah, just nervous about everything, I guess, he admitted, his voice barely above a whisper. About us. She took a step closer, the question hanging between them like a fragile glass ornament, ready to shatter. Jack nodded slowly, his heart racing. I want to know if we could go beyond this. Maya's breath hitched, her expression shifting between hope and fear. What if we're not ready? Then we take it slow. But I'm not running away anymore, Maya. The uncertainty cracked open a door to something beautiful or painful. Would they choose to walk through it together? Jack's stomach twisted with possibility as he watched her eyes dance, revealing 1,000 emotions. Then, let us talk tonight, she said finally, determination seeping into her tone. Let us be brave. His heart sorted her words. I'll see you then. As he left the diner, the air felt charged with hope. The promise of that evening loomed over him, heavy but exciting. But in the depths of his mind, a new worry emerged. Would the truth bring them closer or drive them apart? As dusk approached, Jack found himself pacing in his small apartment, the walls feeling like they were closing in on him. Each tick of the clock echoed in his ears, a relentless reminder of the fleeting moments. He glanced at the table he'd built, its smooth surface gleaming under the soft light, a testament to the art he created and the emotions he poured into it. He couldn't shake the weight of the conversation that awaited him. It swirled in his mind, forging a storm that filled him with both excitement and dread. What if he misread the signals? What if tonight was just another moment that led to heartbreak? He exhaled sharply, shaking his head. No, he needed to trust what was blossoming between them. The sun dipped below the horizon, leaving a curtain of stars twinkling like small promises in the vast sky. Jack leaned against the window, drawing in a deep breath of evening air. He could see the diner from his place, its neon sign flickering with a warm glow. As he watched, he could envision Maya behind the counter, her laughter mixing with the comforting hum of conversation, a heartbeat he longed to be part of. He finally made his way out, his boots tapping lightly against the pavement. Each step brought a surge of adrenaline, the thrill of what could happen, mingling with the specter of worry. He pushed open the door to the diner, letting the sounds of late-night chatter and clinking dishes wrap around him. Maya spotted him immediately, the radiant smile spreading across her face like sunshine breaking through a cloudy day. She looked stunning, her warm apron accentuating her curves, and the way her hair framed her face lit up by the diner lights. As he approached, he felt that same magnetic pull drawing him closer, a connection so fierce it sent shivers down his spine. Hey, you made it, she said, her voice bubbling with enthusiasm. Of course, he replied, unable to hide the smile creeping onto his lips. You ready for that talk? Yeah, let us sit. She motioned toward a cozy booth in the back, where the ambience felt intimate, cocooning them away from prying eyes. As they slid into the booth, the air thickened with anticipation. Jack could sense his emotions dancing just beneath the surface. So, what did you want to talk about? Maya bit her lip, hesitation creeping into her demeanor. I've been thinking a lot lately about us. I don't want to rush into anything, but I also don't want to keep dancing around this forever. Jack nodded, searching her gaze. I feel the same. I want to know if you feel it too. If we have something real here. Her eyes sparkled with uncertainty and strength, and she leaned in closer. I think we do, but it scares me. What if I let you in, and it all falls apart? His heart ached, realizing they were both standing by a cliff, looking down into the unknown. But what if it doesn't? What if we find something beautiful? I want to be brave with you, Maya. Brave? She repeated softly, her voice almost a whisper, acknowledging the weight of the word. Yes, Jack said, the fierceness of his conviction surprising even him. I don't want to walk away before we really try. I want to build something with you. Maya's expression shifted, a blend of hope and yearning surfacing. You mean it? You want to be real together? Yes. No games, no past haunting us. Just us. Her eyes shimmered, reflecting a mix of fear and excitement, as if she were on the edge of discovering something extraordinary. Jack reached across the table, his hand grazing hers. The warmth of their touch ignited a spark that coursed through him, mingling with the electric tension in the air. What do you say? Can we be brave together? Maya's breath hitched again, but this time, it was laced with courage. I want to try, but we have to promise to communicate. To share everything. Absolutely, he vowed, his fingers entwined with hers, hopeful and desperate. Yet, as they sat there, reality loomed in the background, a reminder that diving into this new chapter carried risks. Would they truly be able to navigate the waters of their pasts and emerge together? That question hung heavily in the air, as thick as the tension between them, waiting for an answer that could change everything. Jack's heart raced in the silence that enveloped them, the world outside the diner faint and distant. In that small booth, everything felt amplified: the sound of busy forks and knives, the soft murmurs of other patrons, and most importantly, the quickening rhythm of their hearts. As he held her gaze, he could see the possibilities flickering in her eyes, a mix of dreams and fears battling for dominance. Maya finally smiled, a tentative but genuine smile that lifted the heaviness between them a notch. Okay, she said, her voice trembling slightly. Let us try. But let us not rush into anything, all right? Agreed, Jack breathed, relief flooding through him, warming him from the inside out. I care about you, Maya. I want to see where this can go. As they spoke, a waitress approached to refill their coffee mugs. Her cheerful demeanor contrasted sharply with the serious undertones of their conversation. Maya broke eye contact for a moment, laughing lightly as the waitress cracked a joke about the diner's night shift. Jack watched the way Maya's laughter lit her features, and he couldn't help but chuckle too, a sense of warmth spreading through him. But as the waitress moved on, the moment became serious once more. What about your past? Maya asked, her brow furrowing slightly. We both carry baggage. How do we deal with it? Jack wrestled with the vulnerability that question stirred. I think we take it one day at a time. We communicate. Maya nodded, her complexion pale under the diner lights. That sounds fair. But there's something I've been avoiding. What is it? Jack's stomach tightened. Something happened with me a while back, she admitted, her voice dropping to a near whisper. It's a part of me I've been hiding. I want to share it, but I don't know how you'll react. What if it scares you away? It won't, he assured her, though his throat tightened at the intensity of her gaze. Whatever it is, we can face it. I want to know you, all of you. Maya's fingers slipped from his, a subtle retreat that felt like an icy gust blowing through him. Okay, but promise me you'll listen without judgment? Promise. He straightened as anticipation coursed through him. I'm here. She inhaled deeply, drawing strength from the air around them. A few years ago, I was in a really bad place. There was someone I thought I loved. But it was toxic. I lost myself in it. And when I finally got out, I was a shell of who I used to be. Jack's heart ached. I'm so sorry to hear that, Maya. That sounds devastating. Tears welled in her eyes. I had to rebuild, learn to trust myself again. It took so long, and I'm still working through it. I finally feel ready to open up again. But I'm terrified that history will repeat itself, she whispered, pain etched on her face. What if I mess this up? What if I can't be the partner you deserve? He reached out, taking her hands firmly in his. You won't mess this up, and you are more than worth it. We'll figure this out together, no pressure, remember? A small smile returned, breaking through her fear. You really mean that? Absolutely. He squeezed her hands gently, grounding her as they sat across from each other in that booth. Silence lingered, but this one felt different, less heavy, more hopeful. Maya finally spoke again. Okay, let us take it slow. But I want to share more about my past. It's time. I trust you. Jack's heart swelled with a mix of gratitude and determination. She was opening up, honest and vulnerable, and he knew the road ahead would be challenging. Still, he felt a spark igniting within him, a flame of hope. But just then, the door of the diner swung open, and a blast of cold air rushed in. Jack turned instinctively, glancing at the new arrival. His breath hitched as he recognized an unexpected figure, one from his past. The tension in the room vibrated anew, and Maya felt it too. Jack's heart dropped. Would this person shatter what they were building? Don't look now, he said softly, his voice tight as he turned back to Maya. But I think the past just walked in. Jack's eyes darted back to Maya, whose expression had shifted from gentle curiosity to alarm. Who is it? she whispered, her voice trembling slightly. He couldn't answer right away, stuck in the whirlwind of his thoughts. Instead, he fixated on the silhouette of someone he hadn't seen in 3 years. The tall frame was unmistakable, even from across the diner. It was Alex, a name that echoed like a ghost in his mind. What's wrong? Maya's voice brought him back to the moment, and he forced himself to shake off the tightness gripping him. It's complicated, he started, taking a deep breath. Just someone I thought I left behind. Maya's gaze sharpened, the apprehension in her eyes palpable. Do you need to go talk to them? No, he insisted, though uncertainty gnawed at him. No, I'm here with you. That's what matters. Are you sure? The concern in her voice pierced through him. He nodded, trying to project confidence he didn't fully feel. Then he watched as Alex looked around the diner, his familiar face breaking into a smile when he spotted a group of friends at the counter. It was a reminder of how easily the past could invade the present. The tension around them was suffocating, wrapping them in its grip. Jack could sense Maya's unease, and he hated that he might inadvertently put distance between them. He took her hands in his, squeezing them gently. Let us keep talking, he urged, hoping to distract both of them from the past creeping in. But it wasn't that easy. The uncomfortable weight of the situation lingered, pressing down on their conversation. I want to know more about you too, Jack, Maya murmured, her eyes catching his with a flicker of vulnerability. I feel like I'm revealing these pieces of myself while I still don't know much about you. The moment felt crucial. He needed to open up. Okay, I'll tell you. Alex was someone I got involved with during a difficult time. I thought it was love, like you described, but it turned out to be manipulative. Maya's brow furrowed, listening intently. What happened? The memory swirled. It unraveled. I did a lot of things I'm not proud of to keep the peace. It took me a long time to recover, to see what a true relationship should look like. Like this? She asked softly, her hands still intertwined in his. Exactly, he affirmed. I didn't want to bring that into this. But just as the sincerity between them began to take root, a loud laugh caught Jack's attention. Alex had crossed the diner towards his friends, but not before glancing towards their booth. Their eyes locked for an unsettling moment. Jack felt his breath hitch as Alex's gaze lingered, a hint of a smirk dancing on his lips. Jack, Maya said, her voice breaking through the encroaching fog. There was an edge in her tone now, a softness mixed with a tinge of concern. Are you okay? What if he tries to come over? Jack muttered, panic edging his control. He wanted to keep his past separate, especially now that he was trying to build something genuine. I won't let him ruin this, Maya whispered fiercely, scanning the diner as if to shield their moment. Just then, Alex slipped away from his friends and headed their way. The floor beneath Jack felt unsteady, as if he were standing at the edge of a cliff ready to plunge into a chaotic abyss. Maya squeezed his hand tighter, a silent promise that they would face whatever came next together. Jack felt the flame of hope flicker again, but the overwhelming sense of dread extinguished it momentarily. Stay close, he warned softly, bracing himself for the inevitable encounter. As Alex approached, ready to break through the fragile wall they had built, Jack's heart raced. Would they be able to stand their ground in the shadow of the past they were both trying to escape? Hey, remember me? Alex chirped, his voice cutting through the diner's noise. Maya's grip tightened further, and Jack felt a jolt of adrenaline surge through him. He was on a precipice now, balancing between the ghosts of yesterday and the promise of tomorrow. What choice would he make when the past bore down on him? Jack swallowed hard, his throat suddenly dry. It felt like the air around him had thickened. He forced a smile, but he could feel the nervous twitch in his lips. This wasn't good. Not good at all. Alex, he managed, keeping his tone steady. But inside, a storm raged. Memories flared, arguments, lies, and the way Alex's charm had twisted into something dark. Long time no see, Alex said, his smirk widening almost smugly. He leaned against the booth beside them, as if this were an idle chat rather than an emotional minefield. I didn't expect to find you here, especially with her. Maya, her expression resolute, sat a little taller. Jack could sense her uncertainty beneath her brave facade. He took a deep breath, reminding himself of the warmth of Maya's hands in his, of the connection they were trying to forge. Yeah, well, it's a small town, Jack replied, his voice clipped. What brings you here? He hated that he had to ask, hated that he even cared. Oh, just visiting some friends. Alex shrugged, glancing back toward the counter. His confidence was disarming, but all Jack could feel was the ground shifting beneath him. How've you been? You look, well, different. Maya shot him a quick look, one that said she wanted to get up and leave, but Jack shook his head slightly, urging her to stay. They weren't going to let him win. Not now. I've been good, Jack said, forcing his tone to be casual. Things are better now. Better? Funny how that works out, isn't it? Alex remarked, his tone laced with a hint of mockery. Guess some people manage to move on from complicated relationships. Jack clenched his jaw, the tension palpable. He could feel Maya's hand tremble slightly in his grip, and he squeezed it reassuringly. Some do, he replied coolly. But I'm not interested in discussing old times. But I think old times have a way of catching up. Alex leaned closer, his gaze sharp. Like old friends who aren't so friendly anymore. Maya stiffened beside him, her discomfort evident. Maybe you should just leave us alone, she said, her voice steady despite the unease rolling off Jack. Is that how you defend your new relationships, Jack? Alex laughed, sounding more like an invading force than a friend. By having her speak for you? Jack felt anger simmering inside him, mixed with the memories swirling like ghosts around them. The last thing he wanted was for Alex to disrupt the tentative connection he was building with Maya. Don't talk to her like that, Jack snapped, surprising even himself with the venom in his voice. You don't know anything about her, or what we've been through. So back off. For a moment, Alex's smile faltered, replaced by a flicker of surprise, then irritation. But it quickly morphed back into that infuriating smirk. All right, tough guy? No need to get all worked up, he said smoothly, backing away slightly, but not fully disengaging. Maya's eyes searched his, filled with uncertainty and, strangely, trust. Jack, she said softly, you don't have to do this alone. We can handle this together. Her words sent a rush of warmth flooding through him. Here was someone willing to stand by him, to face the shadows from his past. It was a lifeline. Alex, Jack said, his expression firming. I'm trying to build a future here. And you're a part of my past I'd prefer to keep away from it. Future? Alex chuckled, shaking his head as if mocking everything Jack held dear. That's bold, Jack. Just remember, old habits die hard. With those words, Alex stepped back, raising his hands in mock defeat. I want to keep you from whatever this is. Just don't say I didn't warn you. As Alex turned away, Jack felt a rush of adrenaline release its hold. He turned to Maya, who looked equally shaken but somehow relieved. They had faced down a storm together. Are you okay? He asked, concern flooding his voice. I think so, she replied, though her eyes betrayed her uncertainty. But that was intense. Jack nodded, feeling the weight of the moment settle over them like a heavy quilt. Yeah, but we stood up to him, he said, drawing her close. A soft smile broke across Maya's face, and something flickered between them, a sense of shared strength. What happens next? She asked, her voice steady now. He took a deep breath, feeling the foundation beneath him shift into something solid. We keep moving forward, whatever that means. But even as he spoke those words, the shadow of Alex lingered in the back of his mind. What if this encounter had only stirred the tension that had yet to unravel? Would their newfound connection withstand the struggles that lay ahead? Jack's heart raced as he tried to digest everything that had just happened. Alex's presence felt like a cold chill lingering in the air, a reminder that no matter how far he had come, some shadows still hung heavy over him. Maya's hand rested in his, steady and warm, grounding him in that chaotic moment. He looked closely at her face, taking in the way her brows knit together in worry. Are you sure you want to get involved in all this? He asked, the words slipping out before he could stop them. She tilted her head, her eyes sparkling with determination. Jack, I'm already involved, whether you like it or not. This isn't just about you. Her voice was firm, but the softness beneath it told him she understood the weight he carried. It's about us. He let out a slow breath, feeling the tightness in his chest gradually ease. You're right, he admitted. I just don't want this to come between us. I don't want any of this to ruin what we're trying to build. Neither do I, Maya replied. But we can't keep running from our pasts either. If Alex wants to play games, we need to be ready. Her resolve lifted some of the burden from his shoulders. How? He asked, curiosity mingling with apprehension. What do we do now? I don't know how to confront someone like him without losing control. We face it together, she said simply, squeezing his hand. You've already done so much to confront your past by talking about it, by being here with me. Maybe it's time to take that next step. Jack's thoughts raced. Confronting Alex wouldn't just be a step forward. It would mean walking into the lioness den. But he couldn't let fear dictate his life any longer. He had to fight for what he wanted, for what they had. Okay, he said, determination flooding back into his voice. Let us do it. As they stood up from the booth, Jack glanced around the diner. It felt strangely charged, like everyone could sense the impending storm. The clatter of plates and murmurs of conversation faded as he steered Maya towards the door. He was aware of his pulse quickening. Each step felt like a commitment to challenge the very thing that had haunted him. Outside, the sunlight hit them with an unexpected warmth. It was a welcome contrast to the tension still simmering in his gut. He was grateful for Maya's presence, as if her light could chase away the darkness that threatened to engulf him. Where to? Maya asked, her voice cutting through the echoes of his anxiety. Let's south go to the park. It feels open there, he suggested, the thought of fresh air and nature calming his nerves. The park had always been a place of solace for him, somewhere to think without distractions. Sounds good, she agreed. As they walked, Jack focused on the rhythm of their footsteps, the way they matched with each other as another sign of their growing unity. But as they reached the park, a shadow fell across his thoughts again. He scanned the area, half expecting Alex to appear as if summoned by his own unease. What if he was right? What if old habits did die hard? I'm here, Jack, Maya said, cutting into his spiraling thoughts. No matter what happens. He nodded, but the fear niggled at the edges of his mind. I know. It's just, is it enough? Before she could respond, a familiar voice rang out from behind them, slicing through the park's peace. Jack, there you are? It was Alex. The confrontation had come glaringly fast, and Jack felt his heart tumble into his stomach. Could they really handle this? Looks like we've got some unfinished business, Alex said, an eager smile dancing across his lips. Jack felt his whole body tense, but next to him, Maya stood tall, ready to face whatever was coming their way. The question loomed between them like a dark cloud. Could they really weather the storm together? As they turned to face Alex, Jack's thoughts raced with possibilities. How far was he willing to fight? And more importantly, what would it take to protect the future he was trying to build with Maya? Jack stood firm, feeling the electricity of the moment pulse through him. As he faced Alex, he sensed the resolve radiating from Maya. Together, they were a powerful front, ready to tackle whatever came next. Jack, you really should just move on, man, Alex said nonchalantly, folding his arms with an exaggerated casualness that did nothing to mask the tension beneath. No need to attach yourself to this whatever this is, he motioned disparagingly toward Maya. Jack's blood boiled at the dismissive tone. Maya isn't just this. She is everything I've been looking for while you've been off playing your games. He felt Maya's hand instinctively tighten in his, grounding him with her warmth as they prepared to stand their ground. Games. Alex laughed, though the sound was hollow. You're being melodramatic, saying all that for someone who's too scared to face the truth. You think you've built something real, but we both know you're still haunted by your past. I can help you if you just let me. Jack thought back to his journey over the past months. To every time, he felt a flicker of joy and purpose. His heart raced as he remembered Maya's laughter, her unwavering support. I don't need your help, Alex. I'm taking control of my life now, and I want to let you worm your way back in. The air thickened with the weight of Jack's words, each one forming a barrier between him and his past. He felt an immense surge of energy, clarity filling the cracks of doubt that had once paralyzed him. Maya stepped slightly forward, the fire in her gaze matching his. You don't own him, Alex. Neither of you can dictate what he should feel or who he should be with. Jack caught a hint of surprise flicker across Alex's face, a crack in his smug facade. Wow, I must have really struck a nerve for you to come out swinging like that. Why don't you see that it's time to move on? Maya challenged, her voice steady. Don't keep dragging Jack back into the chaos of your life. Chaos. Alex scoffed. I'm the only one who knows what he is really capable of. It's been a long time, Jack. You really think you can build a future on these shaky foundations? Jack took a deep breath, the frustration simmering beneath his skin. You could say that change is scary, but staying in a toxic mess is even scarier. He could feel a new strength rising within him, as if he were shedding layers of insecurity. Change means growth, and this is where I want to be. The challenge hung thick in the air, and for a moment, uncertainty danced in Alex's eyes. But it quickly melted back into irked confidence, that familiar, twisted charm creeping in. You think she's your savior or something? Mark my words, Jack, this is a phase, and you are going to regret it. With every word, Jack felt the anger boiling up inside him. But this time, it wasn't just anger, it was empowerment. I refuse to be the man you made me. I fought hard to rise above what you represent. He squared his shoulders, feeling light years removed from the timid man of his past. You think you can stand against me? Alex laughed, but even he didn't sound as cocky anymore. My influence doesn't just disappear overnight. I will always be in your shadow. Not anymore, Jack stated, calm and collected. That shadow doesn't intimidate me. This, he gestured to Maya, who stood steadfast beside him, is my light. This is my future. Maya's eyes sparkled, radiating warmth and confidence. She squeezed Jack's hand, and together they seemed to glow brighter. Listen closely, Alex, she began, her voice unwavering. Every moment you try to disrupt Jack's progress is another moment you show how selfish you truly are. Alex seemed taken aback by her fierce resolve, but in a moment he began to recover. So you're both together? It's cute, really, but I doubt this will last long once the reality of life sinks in. Reality? You think binding someone with fear is reality? Jack argued, a fire in his belly. I'll choose love over fear every single time. With that, he felt liberated. They weren't just words, they were a promise to themselves and each other. Maya beamed at Jack, her eyes filled with admiration and respect. Real love means facing challenges, Alex, she said confidently, and we're ready to face them together. Love? Alex scoffed, but the bravado stared to falter under their intensity. Good luck with that. I guess you'll find out you can't be happy forever, right? Wrong, Jack replied, shaking his head. That's the misconception you've got backward. We can create happiness. Turning away from Alex, who was now muttering under his breath, Jack and Maya stepped side by side, an inseparable team. They walked through the park arm in arm, the vibrant future ahead of them shining brighter than any shadows lurking behind. As they made their way, Jack's heart soared despite the trail of uncertainty. They had fought for their connection, grounded by truth and love. Perhaps it wouldn't always be easy, but with Maya, he felt ready to face anything. Together they found a bench under a sprawling oak tree. The sun hung low, painting the sky in hues of gold and rose. Jack took a deep breath, feeling the warmth of the setting sun caress his skin. Wow, Maya said softly, gazing at the view. I can't believe we faced him and came out stronger together. That's what we'll continue to do, Jack affirmed, feeling a weight lift off his shoulders. No more running from the past together, we're moving forward. Maya smiled, her expression sincere. So what's next for us? He smiled back, genuine and full of hope. Next, we build our future. One day at a time. A peaceful silence settled around them, an interlude of solace amid their tumultuous pasts. Jack took her hand, intertwining their fingers, feeling the beat of hope resonate between them. They were no longer ghosts trapped in shadows. They were alive, unshackled, ready to embrace all that the future had to offer. As they sat together, the future stretched before them like an open road. They had each other, and from that, everything felt possible. Leave everything behind. Life was waiting and love was on their side. If this story made your heart soar, subscribe immediately to the channel. You need to subscribe now so you don't miss the next exclusive tales. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Your support is so critical, and it makes a world of difference. Comment below how this ending resonated with you. I want to hear your reactions and feelings about this transformation. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this inspiring journey. Let us spread hope and love together.